Russell back with you, continuing on with the recap of the Week 7 games. Next up, the Washington Redskins lost to the Detroit Lions, ending the Redskins' four-game winning streaks. Both teams are now 4-3. The box score for the visiting Redskins: Kirk Cousins 30 of 39, 301 yards, one touchdown, no interception. Thompson 12 for 73, running the ball 6.1 yards per rush. Matt Jones held in check 10 for 27. Kirk Cousins ran the ball 3 times for 19 yards, had the only touchdown running. Altogether, the team 29 of 134, 4.6 yards per rush, not bad. Jamison Crowder, top receiver, 7 of 108, it's 15.4 yards per reception. Vernon Davis, that is, 6 of 79. Thompson, 7 of 40. Deshaun Jackson, 5 of 35. Cousins, unfortunately, lost a fumble on 2 of them. Matt Jones fumbled, and it was lost. 3 sacks for the Redskins. Ryan Kerrigan was able to get 1 of them. I would figure with pressure that would have caused Matt Stafford to have a poor game. Obviously not. Dustin Hopkins, 1 of 2 in his field goal. So obviously a missed field goal when you lose by 3 points is pretty critical. Matt Stafford, very efficient in this game. 18 of 29, 266 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Justin Forsett, top runner, 8 for 33. Matt Stafford had 2 carries for 32 yards. Altogether, the team 19 of 94, which is 4.9 yards per rush, and Zenner had a touchdown. Marvin Jones, 4 for 94 receiving. Golden Tate, 6 for 93. Anquan Bolden, 3 of 28. He had the touchdown. Matt Stafford fumbled. It was not lost. Devon Wilson and Hyder both recovered fumbles. Only 2 sacks, none of them by Ezekiel Ansah. He did play in this game. Matt Prater, 2 for 3 in his field goal. So Detroit quietly now 4-3, looking to keep pace in that division. They do have a bye coming up at some point. And the Vikings 5-1. Washington, like everyone else in the NFC East, is above 500. Certainly not out of it, but this is certainly one of those losses where you win 4 straight and then you don't make a field goal. You have a couple turnovers. You're really kicking yourself for losing this one. So we'll see how Washington responds moving forward. Next up, the Oakland Raiders, very impressive on the road, winning 33-16 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars disappointing. I figured they would be able to win this game, especially against the West Coast team traveling east to play in the 1 o'clock time zone. Derek Carr, not great. 23 of 37, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Latavius Murray trying to get back in the swing of things. His yards per carry has been down a bit this year, 18 of 59, 3.3 yards per rush, 2 touchdowns. King had 1 rush for 27 yards. Altogether, the team, 34 carries, 144 yards, 4.2 yards per rush, and the 2 touchdowns by Murray. 7 guys ran the ball in this game, so we talked about that in the game preview, how important it is for Oakland to run the ball well. When they don't run the ball well, they struggle. Michael Crabtree continues to be very impressive throughout his career. 8 receptions, 96 yards, a touchdown. Seth Roberts, 4 for 42. Amari Cooper, 4 for 29. Kondo fumbled. It was not lost. Andre Holmes recovered a fumble. Khalil Mack did have a sack. It was the only one for the Raiders. Reggie Nelson intercepted a pass, returned it 40 yards, but not for a touchdown. Emerson had an interception as well. Sebastian Janikowski, 4 for 4 in his field goals for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles, 23 of 43, 246 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He was not able to attack what had been a suspect Oakland Raiders secondary, but give the Raiders credit, their secondary has certainly improved in the past weeks. The running game was better in this game. Everyone above 4 yards per carry. Chris Ivory, 5 for 48, 9.6 yards per rush. Blake Bortles, 5 of 33, 6.6 yards per rush. TJ Yeldon, 6 of 24, 4 yards per rush. The team altogether 16 of 105, 6.6 yards per rush. But they were not doing it enough. Now, granted, you fall down, you certainly have to start throwing the ball. But Jacksonville in the running game, just whatever the situation is, they can't seem to get it together in time to make things happen. Lee was the top receiver, 7 of 107. Allen Hurns, 4 for 45. Aurelius Ben had a 39-yard catch. Allen Robinson, 2 for 9. So they, like we said, not able to get the ball downfield against this Oakland secondary. Shaw Green fumbled and was lost. Chris Ivory fumbled. It was not lost. No sacks. Marquise Lee, 4 kick returns for 93 yards. That's 23.3 yards per return. Jason Myers, 3 for 3 in his field goals. Oakland, they are now very impressive on the road. I do not believe they have lost a road game. Jacksonville, like we said, hey, any one of these teams can make noise in this division. And if they're going to keep missing opportunities like traveling west to play the San Diego team, not being able to take advantage of the Oakland Raiders coming east in the 1 o'clock time zone, then you got to wonder, when is this team ever going to step up to make things happen? Blake Bortles shows some promise, but again, the running game is just killing Jacksonville so far this year. Miami was able to beat the Buffalo Bills, breaking the Bills' 4-game winning streak. Miami quietly now up to 3-4. Buffalo drops to 4-3. Tyrod Taylor not very good in this one. 14 of 28, 221 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Tyrod Taylor, the top runner, 7 of 35, 5 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Mike Gillislee, 5 for 20, 4 yards per rush. LaShawn McCoy, who I thought would have a better game, was held in check, 8 carries, 11 yards. Altogether, the team 22 of 67, just over 3 yards per carry, and the 2 touchdowns. Reggie Bush had a touchdown. But Buffalo, if they're not able to get the running game going, you put a lot on Tyrod Taylor, and you see what happens. Marquise Goodwin, top receiver, 4 for 93. He had a touchdown. Brandon Tate, 2 for 31. Charles Clay, 2 for 29. No fumbles either way, lost, recovered, or otherwise. Team had 1 sack. It belonged to Alexander. Nothing really of note in the return games. Dan Carpenter made his only field goal. For the Miami Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill, 15 of 25, 204 yards total, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Jay Ajayi, 28 of 214, going over 200 yards yet again. That's 7.6 yards per rush, 1 touchdown. Ryan Tannehill ran 6 times for 21 yards, 3.5 yards per rush. Williams, 4 for 16. The team altogether 41 of 256, 6.2 yards per rush, and the 2 touchdowns. Kenny Stills, top receiver, 5 catches, 100 yards. He had a touchdown. Jarvis Landry, 5 for 78. Devontae Parker, 3 for 20. Only 6 guys caught passes, however. They did have 4 sacks. Cameron Wake had 1.5 of them. And Ndamukong Suh, yes, and Ndamukong Suh sighting had 1 as well. Andrew Franks, 2 for 2 in his field goals. Now, has Miami found something with the running game? Certainly you would assume so with Ajayi. I just always call him Ajayi, but that's neither here nor there. Certainly taking the ball out of Ryan Tannehill's hands may be effective for them. Buffalo, as we just discussed, if they're not running the ball well, they have to rely on Tyrod Taylor. Sometimes you'll get these bad games with Tyrod Taylor. Sometimes he'll live up to the moment. It really all depends. On a 4-game winning streak, though, you got to be sharp, because any mistake you're going to make, you would assume you're in for, some problems just because you won 4 straight games. Just averages and numbers eventually come back to bite you. The New York Jets ending their 5-game losing streak, or the 4-game losing streak, over the Baltimore Ravens, 24-16. The Ravens have now lost 4 straight. We'll get into Baltimore after everything, after all the box scores. Joe Flacco, 25 of 44, 248 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Terrence West running the ball, 8 carries, 10 yards, 1.3 yards per rush. The team altogether 12 carries for 6 yards. That's a half yard per attempt. Not going to get the job done. Mike Wallace, 10 receptions, 120 yards. Kamir Aiken, 3 for 55. Dennis Pitta, 4 for 40. Devin Hester fumbled twice, did not lose any of them. Tim Jernigan fumbled once, lost a fumble, and also recovered a fumble. Cameron Moore recovered a fumble. Or I don't know if his name's Cameron. The team had 5 sacks, which you'd have to say is very impressive considering Terrell Suggs was not playing. No interceptions. Justin Tucker, 3 for 3 in his field goals. Geno Smith got the start in this game. He's now out with a torn ACL. It looks like I really feel bad for Geno Smith. I just don't think he's ever really gotten the chance to do anything. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 9 of 14, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. I bet Jets fans are wondering where that is. Matt Forte continues to put, and as far as Ryan Fitzpatrick, where that is, as far as not putting the ball up a ton. Matt Forte continues to get yardage. It's coming on a lot of carries. 30 carries, 100 yards, 3.3 yards per rush, a touchdown. Anderson had a 30-yard rush. Altogether, the team 39 of 155, just at 4 yards per carry. And of course, the touchdown by Matt Forte. Only 5 guys caught passes. Quincy Enunwa, 2 for 73, a touchdown. Matt Forte, 4 for 54, a touchdown. Brandon Marshall, 3 for 39. Forte lost a fumble. Edwards, the punter, lost a fumble that was gone back for a touchdown. Brandon Marshall recovered a fumble. Sheldon Richardson had the only tack. Buster screen and Marcus Gilchrist both had interceptions. That's secondary making plays. Nick Folk 1 for 2 in his field goals. For the Ravens, they are struggling right now. That offense is not running the ball well enough, and Joe Flacco very inconsistent. For the New York Jets, they're now at 2-5. You don't know what noise they'll be able to make, but certainly you might have found something in limiting what Ryan Fitzpatrick is doing. Remember, only 5 guys caught passes. He only threw 14 times. Granted, he did not play the whole game. But you had this Ryan Fitzpatrick earlier, then the Jets may not have been in the situation they are currently in. So, is it too little, too late at 2-5? I would probably say yes, but you just keep playing. You just keep trying to build wins, and keep yourself under 7 losses for as long as you can, and at least try to make your season competitive going into December. That's what the Jets can hope for as of right now. All right, so we'll stop right there, come back in just a few moments, and give you the rest of the games from Sunday. Be sure to stay tuned for that. We will see you in just a little bit. Thank you all so much.